Did you know that most of the stiffness you feel isn't permanent damage? It's just movement your joints have forgotten how to make? 6 simple Shaolin-style movements give it back. 10 minutes a day. No floor crawling, no extreme flexibility required. The third movement fixes the stiffness you've been blaming on tight muscles, when the real cause is something else entirely. Let's jump right in with the spine wave. The spine wave is the fastest way to wake up a back that has spent years moving as one stiff block instead of the flexible chain it's meant to be. Here is what it does and how to do it right. Your spine has more than 20 joints that are each supposed to move a little. When you sit for years, they stop sharing the work, and a few of them stiffen while the rest go along for the ride. That is why your lower back feels locked when you first stand, and why bending to tie your shoes feels like negotiating with your own body. This restores the segment-by-segment motion that lets your back bend, round, and arch smoothly instead of in one painful piece. Start on your hands and knees, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Slowly drop your belly toward the floor and lift your gaze, letting your back arch. Then reverse it, pushing the floor away, rounding your spine toward the ceiling and tucking your chin. Move through 8 slow reps, taking 3 full seconds in each direction. The most common mistake is rushing and bending only at the middle. Try to move one part of your spine at a time, like a wave traveling up your back. If your wrists ache, make fists or rest on your forearms. Do 2 rounds of 8. Every slow wave teaches your spinal joints to move independently again, which is the exact ability stiffness steals first. After a couple of weeks, you are going to feel something loosen across your lower back that hasn't moved freely in years. That is the deep machinery of your spine coming back online. But your back is only the first link. There is a joint higher up that locks even harder from modern life, and you feel it every time you try to look over your shoulder. When was the last time you turned your head to check your blind spot and felt your whole torso turn with it because your neck wouldn't go alone? That stiffness creeps in so slowly most men never notice until the range is simply gone. By 60, most men have lost roughly a third of the neck and upper back rotation they had at 30, and it shows up in small, daily frustrations long before it shows up as pain. The monks who trained these movements kept that range for life. You can rebuild it. This restores the rotation in your neck and upper back that lets you turn, check, and reach without your whole body having to pivot. Sit or stand tall. Slowly turn your head to the right as far as it comfortably goes, then add a gentle turn through your upper back to go a little further and pause for a breath. Return to center and repeat to the left. Do 6 slow rotations each side. The common mistake is forcing the chin up or jutting it forward. Keep your chin level and your shoulders down. If you feel any sharp pinch, shorten the range. 2 rounds each direction. What you are doing here is reminding your nervous system that this range is safe to use again, so it stops guarding and locking it down. Modern life trained your body to expect that turning was optional. It isn't. This is the difference between glancing easily over your shoulder while backing out of a driveway and twisting your entire body just to see what's behind you. But before I show you the next one, just quickly, you know that feeling. Swinging your legs out of bed and bracing for that first wave of stiffness before your feet even hit the floor. That's a body asking for help. And 6 movements aren't the whole picture. That's why I put together a complete ebook on this. It's the full system of 50 isometric holds men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s are using to wake up without that morning lock, move like they're a decade younger, and stop feeling restricted by their own body. These movements open the range. The 50 holds build the strength to own it. Links in the description below. Now let's get to that third movement. You might think tight hips are something only desk workers deal with, or that stretching is the only fix. What if I told you that the real problem isn't tightness at all, but that your hips have lost the ability to move in circles, the way they were designed to, and that no amount of static stretching restores that? Your hip is a ball and socket joint built to rotate in every direction. Sitting trains it to do almost nothing, and it stiffens in the shape of a chair. This restores the full circular range of your hips so walking, turning, and getting out of a low seat stop feeling tight and guarded. Stand tall with your hands on your hips and feet hip-width apart. Slowly draw a big circle with your hips, pushing them forward, to one side, back, and around like you are stirring a pot with your whole pelvis. Do 5 slow circles one way, then 5 the other. The common mistake is making tiny, timid circles. Make them as large as you comfortably can. That is where the range lives. Keep a chair nearby for balance if needed. 2 rounds each direction. Here is what's happening underneath. You are coating the joint in its own fluid and reminding the surrounding muscles to allow motion they've been blocking for years. It's like oiling a hinge that has gone dry and started to squeak. This is the difference between rising from a low couch in one smooth motion at 70 and rocking 3 times to build momentum. If you're a man over 40 who's tired of mobility advice built for 25-year-olds, subscribe. Everything on this channel is made for a body that's actually lived. Now back to it. The overhead reach is easily the most underrated movement for the stiffness almost no one thinks about. The sides of your torso. Reach your arm straight up over your head right now. If it won't go fully vertical next to your ear, the muscles along your ribs and under your arm have quietly shortened from years of never reaching for anything higher than a cabinet. That stiffness flattens your posture and steals the very first inch of every overhead movement you make. This restores the length and motion along the sides of your body so reaching high and bending sideways feels open instead of blocked. Stand tall, feet hip-width apart. Reach your right arm straight overhead, then lean gently to the left, feeling a long stretch down your right side from hip to fingertips. Hold that lengthened reach for 2 seconds, return to tall, and switch sides. Do 6 slow reaches each side. The common mistake is collapsing forward instead of bending cleanly sideways. Imagine you are standing between 2 panes of glass. If your shoulder is tight, bend your elbows slightly. 2 rounds each side. Within a couple of weeks, you'll catch yourself reaching for a high shelf without rising on your toes and bracing, standing taller in line at the store, and putting on a jacket without that catch in your side. You'll move through the upper reaches of your own space again, instead of quietly editing them out of your day. Have you noticed how children and the monks who keep training can sit in a deep squat for ages, while most grown men can't reach the bottom without their heels lifting and their back rounding? That deep position with a twist added is the single richest movement for the stiffness packed into your hips, ankles, and lower back all at once. You lost it not because of age, but because you simply stopped going there. This restores the deep squat range and rotation that keeps your hips, knees, and ankles supple enough for real life. Stand with feet a little wider than your hips, toes turned slightly out. Lower into the deepest squat you can manage with control, resting your elbows lightly inside your knees. From the bottom, slowly rotate your torso and reach one arm up toward the ceiling, following your hand with your eyes, then return and reach the other arm. Do 4 reaches each side. The common mistake is forcing depth and letting the back collapse. Only go as low as you can stay controlled, and hold a sturdy object in front of you for support if needed. 2 rounds. Every rep here is opening 3 stiff areas at the same time, which is why it pays off faster than training them separately. After a few weeks, you are going to feel your ankles and hips drop you into that low position with a freedom that genuinely surprises you. That is decades of stiffness letting go. There is one more movement though, and it is the one that pulls all of this into a single flowing pattern your body can actually use. This last one is where everything you just learned stops being 6 separate movements and becomes one connected pattern, which is exactly how your body is meant to move in real life. The monks never trained joints in isolation. They trained flow, the smooth handoff of motion from one part of the body to the next. And that is what keeps a body feeling young long after the calendar says otherwise. This restores the coordinated whole-body motion that makes everyday movement feel effortless instead of mechanical. Stand tall. Reach both arms overhead, then fold slowly forward at the hips, letting your arms and head hang toward the floor. From there, bend your knees and sink toward a gentle squat, then rise back up while sweeping your arms out and overhead again, finishing tall. That is one flow. Move slowly and continuously, taking about 6 seconds per full cycle. Do 6 flowing reps. The common mistake is treating it as separate steps instead of one smooth motion. Let each part melt into the next. Bend your knees as much as you need on the fold. 2 rounds. This movement isn't really about any single joint. It's about restoring the part of your body that decides whether motion feels like a chore you brace for or something you simply do without thinking. That smooth, connected ease is what every one of these movements was building toward, and it is what the monks understood that modern life forgot. Here's the weekly version. Aim for these most days of the week, since mobility responds best to frequent, gentle practice rather than hard occasional sessions. Start with 2 rounds of the spine wave, then 6 neck rotations each side. Move into 2 rounds of hip circles each direction, then the overhead reach for 2 rounds each side. From there, 2 rounds of the deep squat with rotation, and finish with 2 rounds of the standing flow. If a movement starts to feel easy, add range before you add reps, since reaching a little further is what keeps opening new motion. Move slowly and breathe into every position. Here's how to get the most out of these. Keep this video handy and put it on while you train, like having me there walking you through each exercise. Most people find the form clicks around the 3rd or 4th time through, and that's when the results really start to show.